Everybody, and welcome to the April Elevation and Growth Series topic of recognizing an abusive relationship. Um, Abuse comes in many forms. It's not just physical, it can be verbal, it can be emotional, it can be mental, it can be even financial abuse. Abuse comes in many forms, and sometimes we don't always recognize abuse when it is being done to us or if we are the abuser. So, first and foremost, I want to give you the definition of abuse. This is from the dictionary from Google. It says to use something to bad effect or for a bad purpose, to misuse, um, treat a person or an animal with cruelty or violence, especially regularly or repeatedly, the improper use of something, cruel and violent treatment of a person or animal. Okay, so with that being said, um, I always do these things based off of my own experiences and my observations. Okay. And the reason why I want to bring this to people's attention because some people do not recognize when they are being abused, and some people do not recognize that they are being abusers. And once again, it doesn't always have to be physical. I say this because in my marriage, uh, I was abused in many ways, and it I didn't realize I was being abused at that time. Okay. Once again, the definition of abuse is misusing someone, treating them badly, or harming them physically and things of that nature. Now, the physical aspect of it wasn't something that was a regular basis. Okay, some people only feel like you're being physically abused if you're constantly being battered, like as they described it in the past, it's battered women, where you always got black eyes and all of this kind of stuff. However, there were times when I was slapped, punched, my arm twisted till it was sprained, and things of that nature. Uh, Teeth knocked loose and all of that type of stuff. Those are things that I experienced as physical abuse, but it was over the years, that I was in that relationship. However, also during that time, I was emotionally abused in the way of um, being forced to behave in certain ways that I didn't want to behave, but I wanted that person to be satisfied. And it wasn't out of fear, but I was manipulated in a lot of ways. Okay. And it took a long time for me to recognize these things once again. Um, Emotional abuse, where you're they're trying to, in a narcissistic way, convince you that without me you ain't shit, or you did say that, and you're like, no, I didn't say that, and you're like they're like really forcing it down your throat, like you're arguing and they're not talking to you, telling you, trying to convince you that you said things that you didn't say. I was really forced into trying to, and I wouldn't accept it, but I was being forced into saying that I cheated, and that I admitted that I cheated, and that I was pregnant with somebody else's child. And we argued and argued and argued about this for like 3 days, until he finally said, well, everything that you knew about me and that you confronted me with was the truth. So that's the only way I knew how to fight back. Narcissistic behavior. I know people throw that word around, but this person is a narcissist. They tried to manipulate me into believing I said and did things that I did not do and say. That's narcissistic behavior. Psychologically, this person tried to make me feel bad. This was the abuse. Every time I said no when they asked me for something, if it involved money and I said no, oh, that's okay. That's okay. That's all right. Because when I hit the lottery, you gonna want some of my money. That's psychological abuse, trying to browbeat you or force you into feeling guilty. Once again, narcissistic behavior, trying to force you into feeling guilty for saying no. Okay. Financial abuse. Hey, let me get your card so I can go to the ATM and get some money. Okay, you can get $20. They go to the ATM and take the maximum $400, overdraw the account, never give you the money to clear up the account. And I told you I was going to give it to you when I get my paycheck. You never get it. These are things that I experienced. That's financial abuse. Um, relying on you or telling you, hey, go ahead and pay this and I'll give it to you later, even though you know they have the money. But you feel like you have to do it because, oh, well, this is my mate and I have to make sure that, they're taken care of and this is me holding them down. No, that's them manipulating you and abusing you and forcing you to do things that you do not want to do. Okay. Those are all forms of abuse in a relationship, friendship, family relationships, cousins, uncles, aunties, mamas, daddies, brothers, whatever the case may be. This can come from any perspective or any person that you're dealing with that you love. Okay. We don't want to sometimes accept it because they love me. Why would they do that to me? That's not abuse. He's not hitting me every day. Yeah, okay, he hit me because I was getting smart with him. We was arguing that day. So he hit me. That was my mentality. He hit me because he was mad. Well, now that I've moved on, I recognize that you shouldn't be putting your hands on nobody under any circumstance. You shouldn't be putting your hands on, I don't care who you are, woman or man, because there were times, and I have to be honest if I'm going to talk about it. There were times when he did and said certain things that pissed me off to a point where I got physical, where I threw things at him. I hit him with things. I was abusive towards him. Well, at this point, because I had threatened his life and told him if he ever touched me again, I was going to fucking kill him, he wouldn't hit me. He wouldn't fight me back. But he had done enough. You know what I'm saying? Because he still was mentally and psychologically and financially abusing me. He just wasn't putting his hands on me in that aspect. But I had to learn to restrain myself, and I'm not trying to defend me, being violent with him or throwing things at him or whatever, or being physical with him. You never know what your good reaction is going to be if you find out that your mate got a baby on the way or got children in the world that you know nothing about. You just never know how you're going to react. There's many things that you don't know how you're going to react to. However, you have to take accountability for your actions and say, yes, that was abuse. I had no business putting my hands on this person, and I got to learn how to control myself. I am grateful for the fact that I know how to contain myself. I know how to control myself. I recognize certain things. I recognize certain emotions, and I do not act on them. Okay? Because I can turn the fuck up. I know I can. So that is why there are certain people that I don't deal with. There's certain things that I don't indulge in. There's certain people that I don't deal with because they can bring certain things out of you. No matter how spiritual, no matter how grounded you are, certain people can hit certain buttons and trigger you into behaving in your old ways, and you'll revert back to those things. So that's why certain people that I don't deal with, certain things that I don't do, and certain people that I don't talk to, because they take me out of my peace. Okay. But I just wanted to bring this to the attention of men and women. All of us can be abused in many different ways by our mates, family members, no matter who it is. Okay, you can even be abused by your coworkers, your supervisors, your managers. They can mentally, abuse you by manipulating you and tell you, oh, well, if you don't do A, B, and C, you're gonna lose your job. And you so fearful because I need this job, I need to pay my bills, that you do what they tell you to do. And I'm not saying it's sexual, but that's sexual harassment. That's very obvious, and that's sexual abuse. That's mental abuse. All of that. He or she is abusing their power and wielding it over you to force you to do things you don't want to do. That's abuse. There are so many forms of abuse. We can abuse our children mentally. We don't have to beat our children, which anytime you physically hitting a child or anyone to make them submit to do what you want, that's what they did to the slaves. That's what we're doing to our children when we hit them. If they are not in compliance in what you feel their behavior should be and you hit them, that is abuse, because you're hitting them and you're doing things to them that they don't want you to do to them. You're violating their body by hitting them. If you as an adult don't want to be hit, you shouldn't hit children. And I'm saying this, it's crazy to me that I'm saying this, but this is the mentality that I have, because a child's going to do whatever they want to do. I don't care how much you beat them. I wish 1,000 times that I had not been physical with my children, because it didn't change anything. The punishments hurt worse than taking all their stuff away, not letting them go hang out with their friends and all that kind of stuff. That hurts them more than me ever being physical with them. So I have a lot of regrets about how I did certain things in my past. And that's why I'm always willing to share with other people, because it's based on my experiences and my understanding and observances of things. Okay. I'm never going to sit here and try to act holier than thou and be like, no, y'all need to do this and y'all need to know. Most of the things that you hear me talk about, I'm going to say all of the things you hear me talk about is based on my experiences, it possibly as a victim or as a victimizer. That's some honesty for your ass. So, again, I want people to understand and see that there are many forms of abuse. You don't have to take that abuse, but you need to recognize it for what it is. You don't have to abuse people, but you need to recognize it for what it is and correct that, get out of that situation. People have been murdered at the hands of their abusers out of fear. People have killed, and this is everybody. You know, children being abused, their fathers abusing them and their mothers, so they kill their fathers, and now they fucking scarred and all fucked up. Yeah, you killed your abuser, but that it was also your father or your mother or whatever the case may be, or your spouse or whatever the case may be. So I just wanted to give some insight on the many different forms of abuse and how we can recognize it and what we need to do, go to counseling, get some help, dig deeper into your childhood traumas and understand the things that were going on that made you to be this way or behave this way, and do your best to get some help, whether you're being abused or whether you're the abuser. So I really hope that this video helped someone. That's really what I'm on. I want to see people grow. I want to see people thrive. I want to see people elevate and your spirit be high and positive. So I thank you all again for watching. I am sending you all peace, love, light, positive energy, and healing vibes. I will see you soon, macaroons. Bye.